Hello everyone and welcome back to Mrs. Mess Hall. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make this delicious chocolate caramel tart. So let's get started. We're first going to start by making our tart dough, and this is just a simple tart dough. So we're going to do 1 cup of AP flour and 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. Then we are going to add in 1/3 cup of powdered sugar, and I just like to turn on my mixer at this point and get all of these dry ingredients incorporated and get all the lumps worked out before I start mixing in any wet ingredients. Now we're going to separate 1 egg. We only need the yolk, so we're going to separate the yolk from the white. You never want to separate your egg over what you're going to put the egg yolk into, in case your egg yolk breaks or you get a little bit of egg whites into what you're making. That way you just have a little bit of reassurance that you're not gonna get, whatever part of the egg that you don't need in your dough. So once the butter's incorporated, we're gonna add in our egg yolk and a teaspoon of vanilla. And this doesn't take very long to mix, so once it's all mixed and you've got a relatively cohesive dough, we're gonna go ahead and press it into our tart pan. And you're gonna want to make sure that you get the dough up the edges of the tart pan. Otherwise, once you go to remove your tart, everything's gonna run out of it. And if you don't have a tart pan, you could totally use like a pie tin. Once we have our dough completely pressed and we got the sides all the way up like we need to, we're gonna go ahead and bake that. Next, we're gonna start making our caramel. So we're gonna start with 2 cups of sugar, a 1/2 cup of water, and 1/4 cup of light corn syrup. So when you're making a caramel, you add your 3 ingredients together, and you want to make sure that you don't stir or jostle your pot. You put it straight on your burner and you just let the sugar dissolve, the corn syrup dissolve, and it'll all mix as it starts to boil. You want to avoid stirring and jostling your pan, because if you get that sugar mixture up on the edges of your pan, it's just going to burn and crystallize, and it'll ruin the texture of your caramel. So as you can see, I'm using a candy thermometer, and we were waiting until the caramel reaches the temperature of about 350 degrees. Once it reaches that temperature, you'll get a nice amber color, and as you can see, we've now reached right at 350 degrees. So now with this part, you want to be very careful. You want to have a long whisk as you're stirring in your heavy cream, and you do not want to add your heavy cream all at once. You want to gradually stir it in, because the caramel and the sugar, it just bubbles up very quickly. So you need to whisk very quickly, and I like to use a longer whisk. Once you have all of your heavy cream stirred in, you're going to add in your butter, just a couple chunks at a time, and we're gonna slowly stir that in until it's completely melted and all incorporated. Once all your butter is mixed in, you should end up with a product that looks like this. Now that our caramel and tart is done, we're going to go ahead and pour the caramel into our tart. Then we're going to place our caramel filled tart in the refrigerator and let it set. I let mine set for about an hour. Once your caramel has set, we're going to go ahead and make our ganache. So it's just 1/2 cup of chocolate and 1/3 cup of heated heavy cream. I just heated mine in the microwave. So once you add your heavy cream, you're going to let it sit for like 45 seconds just to let the heavy cream melt the chocolate, and then you're going to stir it until all the lumps are gone and it's evenly combined. Then once all that is done, we're going to go ahead and pour it on top of our caramel and spread the ganache all on top of the caramel. And before I put it in the fridge to set, I just sprinkled some sea salt on top to give it a nice salted caramel flavor. So I went ahead and put it in the fridge and allowed it to set for about 30 more minutes, and then it was good to cut. I gotta tell you guys, this recipe is so amazing. Me and my husband devoured it. I hope you guys like it. Please try this at home. It's such a delicious dessert and a really easy treat to make. So if you guys like this video, please stick around for the recipe. It'll be coming up shortly. And check out my YouTube channel. Subscribe for more videos and more content weekly. Thanks!